Is it on? Oh. Hello again. It's your faithful compatriot, Jordan, from Eye to Eye. We are finally going to get my RX7. It's finished. Finished forever. Complete build. So, we're to borrow you. I'm going to go drive to Boost Tech Performance to pick up my car. It's just had rolling dyno, I guess you call it, tune. It's got Power FC in it. And, oh fucking hell, watch it, buddy. Why would you pull out and stop? Ran out of fuel, so I had to get bigger injectors. I think he's put in a pair of 1200s in the primaries. I don't know, I forget which one's which. But new injectors in, more fuel, and now maxed out turbo. So we'll see how it is. Don't know the number yet. We'll see when we get there. Right, got car back, all tuned. Then it'll warm up a little bit. Then time to drive home. See how it is. Massive shout out Pete, as always. Boost Tech. Liking top end, but way more mid-range. Should feel faster. Got a high boost at the moment. Feels like the same as before, like power-wise, but just way earlier. So it's just the power band's longer. It hasn't gone up because of the tiny turbo, but just earlier, and then it flattens out. So hopefully it should be good for the track. Can't believe it's finally done. Waiting about 6 or 7 years to be able to drive this car. Helicopter, helicopter, helicopter. G'day. Guess I got something to show you guys. Long story short, we had to move again. Big gap in the content, kind of. Recorded a few things. You know, you would have seen my last shed that I was working on. All that kind of shit. Still trying to do as much as possible. But, welcome. New shed. New eye-to-eye headquarters. Have a look, see. So, here's my new shed. Just got power in here last week, so got a fan and lights. Excuse the sweat and fan noise, but it's gonna be like 40 degrees today. Hot as. But here's a shed. So, just finished. Just trying to work out where to put everything. We need to get some shelves and stuff. Today is day one. Yesterday was day zero. I finished cleaning the shed. We got all the electricity running, all the lights put in. So there's a lot of mess because electricians don't clean up after themselves, as everyone knows. Cleaned all that up, cleaned the floor, moved everything. Just got the cars in today. So, gonna start working on them. FC's in. It's finally tuned. Nothing's changed, but when you're talking about the engine, we have a look. It's tuned. Finally tuned. Got my graphs here, give you a look at them as well. Sneak peek. Finally tuned. I've had this car for like 7 years and finally did it. Yes. You know what that means? We can drive it. So, tuned, all done. Still has stock turbo and stuff, so you'll see in a minute. That's the downfall of this car, but tuned. Ended up making 180 kilowatt, so not bad. I don't know if that's good or bad. Seemed pretty good. Pete was happy. We put in bigger injectors. So it still had the stock 500 or 550s, primary and secondary, I believe it is. They're the same size. Pete ended up maxing out the secondaries or whatever. Needed more fuel on the top end. So put in bigger injectors. I think he put in some 1200 somethings. So 1200s. And he sorted all that out. Didn't have to worry about a thing. All done. So Pete's the man. Love boost tech. So let's have a look at this. So I told you about the injectors and stuff. But problem we have now is boost. So one of these is boost, whichever one it is, but you can see PSI here. So the boost is coming up and then dropping off. So I've got good gains here through the middle, which are what this is. This is low boost and high boost. It's not a before and after, but yeah, low boost, high boost. So I'd say the low boost is similar, would be similar to what we had before. So that's kind of massive increase in the mid-range. So it just feels way quicker, but then yeah, it just drops off. And then yeah, revving to 7500. For bigger turbo, we might put a high flow in here. I think they upgrade the rear housing and all that kind of stuff, so that'd be cool. But yeah, massive drop off. So as you can see here, got the boost comes up quick as, like it's already in boost by like 3 grand. So super responsive, all that kind of stuff, which is cool. But boost drops off and can't hold the boost, which you can see up here, comes up and then just flat lines. So if you get a bigger turbo on there, you know, keep coming up here, drop off in the, maybe the low 200s. I don't know, I'd have to ask Pete, but you know, maybe around 200 or a bit over. I'm pretty happy with it. My main concern was just to get it driving and safe. So safe tuning it, nothing too hectic. Needed fuel obviously or else it was gonna be unsafe. I wanna drive my car, so I don't give a shit about the power. But this massive increase in the mid-range is gonna make it so much better for what I wanna do with drifting and Motorkhana, which brings my next point. We're going next week. That's why the FC's in here, we've gotta get it ready. It's gonna make it way better to drive, all this mid-range. Maybe a bit more up here would be cool, but this is great. Not complaining, happy with that. Happy I'll be able to drive this thing finally. We need to do a couple of things. I'm gonna chuck on my Panasports, my big ones. Seen them before. I bought these recently, another set of Panasports, which are MX-5 spec. Fucking super excited. Finally get to drive this thing. Had it for like 7 years. So I'm gonna do a few more little things, get it ready for the track. Excited. Race car. Fat fucking tire. Still fits though. So that is a 245/45. So these are the same similar spec, 17x9. Now I'm not sure about the offset, but they've got weights on them, so I'm hoping I can run them. Let's have a look at this, this is cool. Cool. Look at that, straight, kind of skinny, fat race boy. Looks kind of cool. A worse tyre, at least in this condition, but looks cooler, cooler pattern. Chuck them on for now so I can just drive around, make sure they're all right, because what I might do is take both pairs of those to the skid pan. So we're going to do the primal, what are they calling it? Motorkhana, drift Kana, day one, street Kana, I think they're calling it. So street Kana, round one, we're doing it. So plan on running those, maybe drive on them there, take those as spare, then put them back on. Or else if they're super slippery because they're pretty old and cracked and shit, it might be a bit slick. So we might even still take the tri-spokes as a grippier tyre, even though it's skinnier. We'll just see, I don't know what these tyres will be like. Try them out, more to do though. Look good. They look so much bigger. Right, I've chucked on one of each, just to have a look. Check the fitment. Make sure I don't have any issues. So that's the 9. We go over here. Got the 8. So, not the worst. Definitely not the worst drift fitment I've seen. It's actually still pretty tight because it's got a 245 on it. And I usually run a 235. At least on these I have been. And they're on my 9s, my rears. I was probably planning on running a slightly smaller tyre on the rear anyway, but yeah, that's 245 on the 9. A bit skinnier anyway, and then maybe a bit skinnier again. We'll see what happens when I put my rear end in. For now, that's cool. See the difference? Yeah, not as bad as I thought. Wheels too big, boy. That's locking there now already, like, well, not locking, but starting to grab, but doesn't feel like it's doing anything there. So that's like probably perfect. We'll take this with us on a drive anyway. I'm gonna back it off to be safe. Check this again. So I haven't driven this car for a bit, so it is a bit grindy at the back anyway. It's so much easier to adjust than I thought. I've been putting this off for like 5 years. Done. Hopefully this might work soon. Next, we chuck some blue Loctite in here. The reason I'm chucking some blue Loctite in here is just, this thing comes undone all the time. So, custom drift button that my mate made me. I'll tag him in it. JZX747, if you can see that. Chuck that in there. This was made for me. It's the same as a Toyota, so you can get one for a 8.6 or a Mark II or anything if you've got an RX7. But they're all kind of ugly, none of them were black. So he made me this one, which is sick. It's all knurled on the end and everything. So yeah, cool. That's another job done. Let that dry. On to the next thing. There he is. JZX747. It's got a cool car. That doesn't look cool, but you know. Nice. Nice, Gary. So on the FC, it's pretty good to adjust the handbrake. It just has one little screw there. And you can just put in a screwdriver in the end, which is pretty handy. Or you can tighten it up with a spanner, so that's cool. Now there's one of those mods that I thought would be stupid and waste of money when I had to replace some of these for a roadworthy on the Corolla, but they're actually great and they're well worth it and make a car so much easier to drive, so replace these.